Hey, what's going on, beautiful family? It's your sister Michelle here. Yep, you seen part one. I should have put that on there. Part one about God's timing. This is part two for our special Sunday. Okay, I'm wishing you nothing but love and light on your personal journeys. Make sure you watch the first video, listen to that, and now we're continuing to part two because I said there are other blessings that I would tell you about to encourage you about what's coming for you. Great, wonderful, amazing things that will blow your mind after going through this when you let go and let God. Because let me tell you something. Like I said in the other video, I'm going to say again, God can do all things. And through your roughest pain and your worst hurt of your life, he is preparing something wonderful out of this evil that came your way. Trust and believe. And he's got a number for them too now. He got a book waiting for their ass too. You don't get away with bad shit either now. Nobody's perfect, but you know what I'm saying, okay? All right, so here's part two. Now, you know, I told you about what happened with the apartment and the furniture in the first one. And I said there was some more. So I'm going to tell you about the situation with the car situation. And if you watch the videos, you know good and well what happened later on. I did some stupid stuff during the discard. We ain't going to talk about that, but, you know, it is what it is. Before that kind of happened, for many years when I was with him, I used to always be the main one providing most of the situation in the relationship. I'm not saying he didn't do anything. I would be lying if I said that because that's not true. But majority of it did come from my end, especially trying to make a family and building and everything like that. And I remember all the time that it used to be me that always had the transportation. And a few times he would either something would happen to his car or it would get repoed at times. Trust and believe, a lot went on over all the years and years together. But I was usually always the one who had an automobile. So I sound like my granddaddy. Old people say automobile, car. And I remember when I first met him, I had a older model car. Worked pretty good. And everything just kept going wrong with it. And I would let him drive it and stuff like that. And the car got hit by a damn deer, y'all. Tore up the whole front. Then I ended up getting another car. And then I didn't have that car. See, this is what I'm trying to tell you about how a narcissist spirit is so demonic. When I got another car, the interior of that car was beige, white. And I didn't have that car but 2 or 3 days. And I picked him up from somewhere and he had a red soda in his hand and he set it down on the ground and it wasted. I was so hurt because it was red soda and never fully came up. I was like, oh my God, here we go again. Different things always went on. So that's a long story short. So I was always like, well, I always wanted a Buick. Not Buick. I said a Buick. That's what I had. I'm sorry. A Dodge. I wanted a Dodge Charger. That was a big thing. Everybody wanted the Dodge Charger. Or I wanted a Dodge Avenger or something. I was like, Dodges. So I always wanted to get that. And while we were together, it never transpired. Every time I went to go get a car, I couldn't find one that was a decent price or they were so expensive, your girl couldn't afford it, whatever the case may be. After I was discarded, my car that I was currently using, it went on the brink. The transmission something went out so bad it was going to cost so much money. It wasn't even worth the money. And I remember saying to myself, okay, well, now I'm going to have to go get something. But I'm not going to be able to probably get what I want. What I've been always wanting was a Dodge Avenger, Dodge Charger. You know, I was like, you know, hey, they're a little bit out of my range. Got too much other stuff going on. So I started looking for a car. And my father and I were searching together and looked at a lot of nice stuff, but nothing ever really fit the bill, or it was too high, or it wasn't a good quality car because they were used vehicles. They weren't new. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just kind of giving up. So I said, well, Lord, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to let you lead me. And one day, I didn't ever go on Craigslist. I've never been on Craigslist in my life before that. And I don't know who said something or something was brought up to me. And I said, well, let me go on Craigslist and look around and see what I can see. So I found a couple of vehicles and they weren't good. And then I was getting ready to give up. Right when I was getting ready to give up, I seen a beautiful dark navy blue Dodge Avenger. It was gorgeous, clean, all black interior. It looked brand new. It was beautiful. And I was like, okay. So I called the guy and of course I went to see the guy and everything. The car was gorgeous, gorgeous. I was like, oh my God, it's going to be too much money. They asked me for a certain price. I couldn't meet it. So I called my dad. My dad looked at it and he was like, well, yeah, it's nice, but I don't know if we're going to pay this. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know. I'm just going to give it to God. And I remember the narcissist telling me, you ain't going to get no dog. You know, they try to discourage you. You ain't going to get that. That costs too much money. You can't afford that. Always down talking you, right? So I think it was the next day. There we go with that next day. I think it was the next day. He had got in contact with my dad. My dad and him exchanged numbers. And he called my dad and he was like, well, sir, how much were you willing to pay for the car? And daddy gave him the price and he was like, oh, that's kind of not what I'm looking for. And my dad said, well, I'm not looking to pay more. We're not, because he was helping me get it. We're not looking to pay more than that, right? So the guy said, okay. So they hung up. Called back the next day. He said, sir, I usually don't do this, but I am going to go ahead and give you this car for the asking price you asked me for. The very next day, we went to the bank, got the money from his account and my account, and made a cashier's check and got that Dodge. I remember falling on the ground crying, going, God, really? This is after apartment. This is right after the house. It was just, God was rolling. He was rolling. That's why I try to tell you, testify. God is real. After everything I went through, and you go through, the amazing things that God is working on your behalf, when someone tries to destroy you and break your life apart, it is mind-blowing. A narcissist could never touch that. All the things he tried to do to me and did do to me, to hurt me and hurt my self-esteem, which he was successful at for a long time, he could not stop what God had already written for me. Better than I could ever imagine, and definitely more than he probably ever could imagine, okay? God is real. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Here's the last little part, and I'll probably do another part another day. I'm not going to do another part about it, but I just want to give you this encouraging, just give you the strength to know, my God, so much good is going to happen out of this bull crap. Just trust in God. Remember when I told you about the furniture situation, how I paid for the furniture, the $5,000 limit I got? Now, this is really going to blow your mind. This is going to get you. I said it was the $5,000 limit. I spent almost the $5,000. I ain't gonna lie, well, pretty much. And I was like, maybe I went overboard because the payments might be a little bit too much, but I can handle it. You know, maybe I did a little much than I was supposed to, but God help me that I don't get in a situation where I just put myself in a grave with this mess. And I remember they kept on. The interest, you know how the interest kept getting higher and higher, and I kept saying every month I'm not paying the same. They told me $200, now I'm at $350. Like, what is going on? It's kind of like Comcast. You know, they say it's $100. You end up paying $300. Yeah. It was just getting overwhelming, and I was like, I can't keep up with it with all I'm doing outside of that. I remember, listen to me. I prayed about it, and I said, God, please help me. Please help me. Can't have them repo my furniture. I need my furniture. And I know that I don't want to put myself in such a struggle that I can't make it. What am I going to do? So I remember I missed 2 payments. I'm being transparent with you on this. Some other stuff came up. You know how that is. Life happens. And I was like, okay, I'm behind. So now I'm going to have to catch up. Let me tell you what happened. I went in there to make a payment on this $5,000 payment. And when I went in there, the company who previously owned it, the company no longer owned it, and they sold it to someone else. So the debt, transfers to the new company. So when I went in to find my information, they couldn't find me. There was no record of me ever buying furniture from that company. The new company didn't have it. The old company went bankrupt, so there's nothing there. The new company don't have anything. So me thinking, well, maybe there's a glitch in the system. This is too good to be true. I have checked my credit continuously. There is nothing there. It's like I never, ever bought anything. I have no bill anymore. There's no record of it. It's not on my credit. And I check my credit often just to make sure maybe it will show up. Then I went back and checked again, and the guy was like, basically, when I spoke to the people, it was like, basically, you just got $5,000 worth of free furniture. 5,000 American dollars? Like I said before, I was like, God, you got to be kidding. I'm telling you all of this to testify and tell you that you have been through so much hurt and so much. And I know because I was there. I've been there. But I try to encourage you on this new journey. We're on this healing journey. I'm giving you all of this and being transparent with you so you can see what God can do. When you get out of this, whether they discard you or you get rid of them or whatever the case may be, maybe they go to heaven, who gives a damn, or hell or whatever. This is an amazing blessing when you have done good by someone and you have tried your best, perfect no, and you have love for God, and you lean on God's understanding, not yourself all the time, definitely not worried about no narcissist and what he got going on. You got to worry about God, and God's timing does not fail. And when the same way you went through all this stuff with this individual that was so diabolical, you can't wrap your mind around that. This is how it works on the other side. It's so amazing. You can't wrap your mind around it. You cannot. Oh, I got chills. I testify God is good. No matter what you call God to be. I always tell you this. I always said in my videos, believe in what you believe in, and believe in it strong, because it has your back. Bigger than you know. You got to go through the motions to get to the blessing. The blessing is the lesson. And I know you're going to receive all those things, and you're going to be having one. If you don't already have it, you're going to be talking about the same miraculous stuff. Drop down in the comments and let me know if you've seen anything like it. And in the future, let me know. I'm so happy for you, and I love you so much. Keep your head up. God is real, and his timing is amazing. I love you so much. Keep healing. Keep on healing. Keep moving, and keep on healing. I love you so much. Bye, y'all.